I'm not. Okay, I'm not muted now. Hammer, say something so we can tell if they hear you.
I'm saying something to tell if they can hear me.
So, you guys, before we went live, Hammer and I were talking about how I'm his favorite sister, and for that reason, we got his webcam, even though Andrea didn't. No, it was actually the opposite. Okay, wait. Apparently you're too quiet. Okay, I'm gonna turn you up. Everyone.
Either, yeah, either I'm too quiet on the technical side or I'm just too quiet in general. The
Okay.
second sounds unlikely.
Now it's good. Also, everybody's telling you happy birthday. Did you do anything nice for your birthday?
I practiced my driving. That was pretty nice.
Oh, have you actually been getting your driving tests going?
Not really, but I had my second lesson in a year. So, that's progress.
What motivated you to finally learn?
Well, I mean, like, I'm
Hammer is
hearing
quieter than me.
stuff
I'm gonna turn myself down, chat, and you guys can turn it up. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm kind of I had the opportunity, right? Because they have these special Norway chess cars. So there was an opportunity to drive. Whereas when I'm back home, I don't really have a car to practice with.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, speaking of practicing, I'm ready to do some training, even though I'm not the one who's preparing for an event like Andrea. But I think doing some training and maybe starting way ahead of time is good.
Yeah,
Thank you, Martin.
definitely.
So you guys, yeah, today we're going to be doing a chess lesson stream with Hammer. And also just a reminder tomorrow for anybody who wants to play in the free community poker event, just do command poker. And if you're in a country where you're allowed to play, then you should join. Okay, so Hammer, how do you want to start?
I was thinking maybe you'll warm up with some puzzles.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Then why did you ask?
But I have you here. I can do puzzles anytime, you know?
Did you do puzzles anytime?
Yes, I don't need a puzzle babysitter. I do puzzles all the time.
Okay, let me hear last time you did puzzles.
Probably like within the last 3 chess streams. I'm sure that would be probably when I did puzzles. Right, chat? Chat, back me up. You guys know. Chat, help me out. Chat, help me out. They said, uh, I'm waiting for chat to have. Yep, I see people saying yep. I saw some puzzles. Yep, she's right. Alex does puzzles. Some people can't remember, but you know.
I'm seeing no, no, and then we're seeing some yeses.
Okay, okay.
One no first. I'm seeing one yes, kappa, which I'm pretty sure is not still working in your
Okay,
favor.
which puzzles are we doing? The regular puzzles, right? Do I put a rating range on it? Like custom puzzles, or because I know before you told me to do custom puzzles within a specific rating range because I would solve them faster.
Yeah, yeah, because you don't like the rush, right?
I just think the rush wastes
Andrea
time
has
for
been
the
doing
first
the
minute and a half. I think the rush
sure,
is useless for too long of a portion for it to be helpful.
sure, and you'll continue having that opinion until Andrea leapfrogs you. But
You
since
know,
that
I don't
hasn't
think you're
happened
very
just yet,
objective. That hasn't happened yet.
well, it's bound to happen, right? She's been grinding the rush.
Has she
She's
been grinding that much chess though? Like she recently tweeted how she has an
well,
event in a week. You know, I'm not saying I'm
I kind of
perfect,
wish she hadn't tweeted that.
but it kind of goes against your point here.
It does a little bit.
Yeah. No, that's
Okay,
true.
so but we don't really know your chess.com puzzle rating, right? Because you never tried to get that rating proper.
It's around
But
28.
yeah, so let's estimate your puzzle rating at 28. So let's do some custom puzzles between 23 and 25.
Okay. Okay. It's 2300 to 2500. Okay,
Yeah.
can and are you watching on stream?
Well, what Andrea has been doing is she's been sharing screen in Discord.
Yeah, it's just gonna change your camera, but I could do that. 1 second.
Yeah, well, she didn't get my camera.
Yeah, I understand that, but it feels like your camera is better. Okay, hang on. Let me get it on. Okay, I have it here.
Hotel room lightning also.
You're what? Okay.
Hotel lighting.
You do have hotel room lighting, but that's okay. Chat, for those of you who don't know, Hammer's in Norway chess, commenting on actual chess events. And, you know, on the side, he also helps us out because secretly he enjoys working with us more than he does Norway chess, but, you know.
It's not that big of a secret. But...
Yeah, no, that's fair. I haven't peaked, Point Man. At least not on Blitz rating. My Blitz rating is only gonna go higher. I was 30 points away from my all-time high the other day, Hammer.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I was 2330.
Like, were you playing...
And before, my highest Blitz rating is 2370. I bet I could get to 2400 Blitz.
Of course you can.
Yeah, so I haven't peaked yet. And it went back down, yeah, but it's gonna go back up, chat. Shut up. No, I'm kidding. I get it. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna start some puzzles. You're watching my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Black to move. Moves we're considering. I probably need to give some kind of check though, because otherwise he has like this double check that's kind of annoying. So I'm gonna look at Queen C1 first, Rook F1, and then I could potentially check on E3. The queen has to take, I take, and in that situation, I'm up a rook, which feels pretty good. Feels like it should be winning. You're giving me a look of...
Do you want me to do the commentary so that you can actually just solve puzzles? Or are we going to have this whole Alexandra
Yes,
waste
actually that would
everyone's time?
What do you mean waste everyone's time?
Like, you could have solved this in a couple of seconds, no?
But don't I have to explain it?
Well, for your chat, maybe, not for me.
Well, I'm just worried that you wouldn't be following along if I didn't think out loud. No, I'm kidding.
No,
I did
but
for chat.
like... Oh, I didn't even understand what you were saying.
I was making a joke. No, but I usually try to explain my thoughts out loud because I don't know how.
Yeah, no, that's very nice of you. I mean, you're being a good streamer, but
okay,
personally, I care about you being a good...
I'm gonna take off my headphones and I'm gonna try to just focus and you commentate. I think that's helpful.
Okay.
And I'll put
just FYI, Andrea has been complaining that when she takes off her headphones, she can still hear me very well. And she's been hiding them inside some cups.
Is this why she has the coconut cups?
I think that may be true, yes.
Okay, we use these to catch mice, spiders, and I guess hide hammer. Okay, I'm doing it now. So if I get it correct, should I just keep solving so that I can get into a groove?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
I could also
did she
unplug
do it?
But this is funnier. Oh god. I lost a coconut. Coconut down. There's also a really loud beeping in the back. So I need to put these on even though there's nothing in it just to not hear as much noise. Okay. Alright. We're going in. We're going in, Chief.
Okay, she's doing it. She did it. She can now capture a knight, then capture a bishop.
Oh my god, the beeping of the garage is so loud in the back, it's actually bad. I might need to put on music because I cannot focus on this.
Can chat hear the beeping?
Even though this is a very easy puzzle. Hang on, I just need to connect these because our garage door has been beeping non-stop and my dad and sister are trying to fix it, which is very sweet. But it's beeping and making the worst noises of my life. I don't know what's worse, the rat infestation or the beeping. Honestly, I would rather have mice than this beeping. But hopefully they will fix it.
That's rough.
Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna try to get these on so that I can actually think. Oh boy. Oh man, it's so loud. Okay, Hammer, I need a second to get headphones from upstairs because there's an alarm going off nonstop and I cannot focus. So 1 second.
I understand. Okay, chat. I guess it's you and me. What are we doing? Can you hear Andrea? Yes, I did hear Andrea. Oh, everyone can always hear Andrea. Tell us a joke? Wow. Chat is so demanding. Ads? Yeah, let's do some ads. People just want... Run, monkey, run. No. Dance, monkey, dance. What is the saying? Whatever it is, you guys are not getting it. Whatever you guys say, we're going to do the opposite. That's how it works. Okay, so we're going to do some lessons today. What Alexandra does not know today is that actually some of the positional positions we're going to be going through, the kind of planning exercises, they're going to be the same positions that we did with Andrea earlier.
All right, I'm going to put my headphones on, but
And
I'm
so
going to
we
rant
can
for a second before I do. So, one, the police came by today and told us we're not allowed to park the cars outside of our house because it's blocking the road, which it's 3 cars and we have nowhere else because the stream room is in here. The stream room, first the AC was broken, so it was like a sauna in here. Now it's beeping and we can't close the garage door. Before that, there was a rat infestation. It's been a very unfortunate stream room. Anyway, that's all. I'm gonna put headphones, I'm gonna do puzzles.
Maybe you should start using it as a garage. That seems to solve many of the issues you mentioned.
Well,
of course she can't hear me.
Well, sadly there wasn't any other space for a stream room. We'd have to do it in one of our rooms, so like, there just wasn't space. That's why we ended up with the garage.
Your room is gigantic.
Yeah, but it is my room. It's not a stream room, because then Andrea would be in there when I'm working in there. Because I work in there when she streams, right?
Tough loss. Then you take her room when she's streaming, you know?
Yeah, you know what? Maybe we should just move the setup from the garage. It's been a pain. Honestly, not a bad idea. Okay, I'm putting in headphones. I'm focusing on puzzles. I'm sorry. I'm going to be a good student now. Are you ready?
Oh, I was kind of kidding. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I didn't know I just solved
You're
the
kind
entire
of kidding.
thing.
I don't hear you anymore, but honestly, it would probably be better to just set up something in my room so that it's usable.
Okay, let's go hammer. Solved it. Didn't even take that long. A couple of seconds. He's not making moves though. There's not a lot of puzzles being solved. I'm watching the stream on mobile. I'm watching it on my iPad, so it's probably like 2 minutes behind. Okay, she's making moves. Let's go. Queen can attack both rook and king at the same time. And then she can probably capture the rook and give checkmate. So she's going to give up her own rook, but she's going to give the check on b2, take the rook on e5, and then come in with the bishop for the checkmate. The line goes queen b2 check, king h1, queen takes e5, queen takes e8, bishop e4 check, king h2, and queen back to b2, and the checkmate on g2. If you followed that, you are good at chess. Well done. If you did not, for fuck's sake, I was wrong?
Okay. Okay, so we had our first miscalculation.
Yeah, turns out that was pretty poor. I mean, you could have just taken the queen. What are you doing?
Well, I was gonna take the queen. I was like, this is good, but I thought that this could be better. With
But,
something.
like, take the queen. It's a free queen. What?
I mean, it's a free queen, but you end up with a queen and a bishop versus 2 rooks. Whereas I thought in this situation,
Queen and bishop better than 2 rooks. What are you doing? Queen to b2? Your rook is under attack.
I know my rook is under attack, but I thought that after the king moves away, I give my rook
Yeah,
away.
but then rook takes f5, obviously.
After what?
Like queen b2, king h1, queen takes e5. There's rook takes f5.
Yes.
You need to calculate this stuff. You can't be a grandmaster unless you see these things.
Well, that's why I'm not a grandmaster. Okay, I'm going back in. I'm gonna be more
Yeah,
careful.
let's try again. Yeah.
Apparently, you missed it too.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Tattletales. Oh, Tattletales chat. Okay, rook h8, rook takes g6, rook takes g6. Winning. So she's sacrificing the rook. What is going on? But we saw this ahead of time. Do not take with the pawn, take with the rook. Okay, I did not see that move. I must admit. Did not see that move, but I can take it with the rook. It's fine. Rook back. Yeah, we're fine. We're up a rook. Oh, don't take with the pawn. Ugh, don't take with the pawn. Get the queen back into defense when you're a rook up. Okay.
Okay, that felt like it was a dirty chess.com thing.
How?
I mean, this is still winning.
No.
How is this not winning? Queen e5,
Queen e5.
and then king h7?
Perpetual.
King h7?
Queen e7.
Oh my god, there is a perpetual. I didn't even think about that. I just thought the tactic was over. I thought we win all the pieces. Okay. I see it now. Any comments, or do I just go back in? Any constructive tips?
It would have been better if you saw rook takes g6 before you went rook h8.
Got it. Okay.
But other than that, it was fine until you didn't bring your queen back to defense.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Back in.
Is she making a big deal out of putting the things into coconuts? Because she's spending like 15 seconds from she says okay to queen h5. Queen h5.
I'm not taking my headphones off. I thought that was mate. It's just because I was tilted. We're gonna move on. I'm not taking my headphones off. This is fine. We're gonna pretend that one didn't happen. I'm just rushing. It's probably queen h5.
You think? Queen h5, rook g8, rook h7, king f8, queen h6, check.
All right, we're gonna pretend I got that one. Moving on.
Moving on. Check on g6, check, take on h6, queen d4 for the checkmate. Bishop c4, not... Oh no, you have to sacrifice the queen on... Ooh, this is very nice. You have to sacrifice the queen on d8 first to prevent knight e6 blocking. So it's queen takes d8, bishop c4 check, knight g6 check, h takes g6 check, rook takes h6, and then bishop f6 for the checkmate. That's kind of cute. Okay, she found it. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Okay, we got ourselves an endgame. Definitely start with h4, H5, H4, and then think, I think. Actually, I don't see how that works. Maybe you have to take the pawn first because you need the king to be available to shield off the white king as soon as possible. Yeah, actually, you should take the pawn. Yeah, take the pawn first. Now you have to rush over to get the pawn. So you have to take the pawns first before you start moving the pawns because you need to be able to use your king as a blocker. And there she found the right square for the king as well. Because the king needs to be right opposite the white king to block it off. I don't know why she's hesitating here. Maybe she doesn't know her endgames. Okay, next one. Um, Bishop takes knight, queen takes bishop, and then f6. No, then the bishop has h6. Um, I mean, if I can't solve it by now, neither can you. Stop moving your mouse. This one is very tricky. I thought these were supposed to be easy. Okay, actually. Yeah, so I think bishop takes knight, queen takes bishop, f6, bishop h6, and then we go f4, blocking the queen's defense of the bishop on h6. And then queen e4 check, we go king g1. Queen e3, we have rook f2. And we're winning the bishop. That one was way trickier than 2300. I don't know. She's still thinking. We were supposed to like find puzzles. So the idea behind this is an article I found that someone posted on oh, Queen
It took a
E5,
while
really?
because I was calculating f6.
Yeah, no, that
But
was a really
I'm
good
gonna keep
solve.
going.
Oh yeah, she can't hear me. I forgot. That one was really good. That was like properly difficult. Okay, take on h7, and then you put the bishop on e4 to block black's bishop, and then you get the other rook to the file. No, not there. Not there.
Oh, that was rushed. Okay, wait. Let me do it again.
Ooh, actually, it's beautiful. Bishop e4, king g8, rook h1, threatening checkmate. The player black goes knight g6, and you go rook h8, knight takes h8, and bishop h7 for the checkmate. Ooh, this is very
Bishop
nice.
f5, probably.
Bishop e4.
No? Okay,
You want to
maybe I
bring
have
your
even
rook.
better. I'll take my headphones off after I solve this one.
E6 is defended. Bishop f5. I'm glad you like it, Lucas. Only you can find that? That's not entirely true. But I can find it faster than most.
G6, maybe? Okay, well, I'll get it eventually. Uh,
I mean, surely it occurs to her that she wants to use both rooks on the H file, right? Okay, and now for the finish. Rook H8.
this
Rook
one was
H8.
kind of tricky.
Getting here was supposed to be the easy part, but Rook H8 now is a very nice finish.
Jesus. Okay, well, I didn't take this one as seriously as I should have. Oh, man. Well, that was a pretty tactic. I think I thought this one was a lot easier than it was when I first did it, and I kept thinking it was right away, and I didn't calculate it all the way through.
Yeah.
Do you feel like I'm getting more warmed up?
I mean, I thought your solve on the one with bishop takes knight and then f6 was really, really nice. Because that was a difficult puzzle. I don't really understand why the puzzle did queen e5 instead of bishop h6, though. Did you see bishop to h6?
Wait, which tactic was this?
The previous one before this?
The previous one when I took the knight.
Yeah.
If he would have played what instead?
Bishop to h6.
No, I didn't even think of that. I had been calculating bishop f6 for so long and queen h6 and rook g8 and not seeing anything that when I saw, oh, you could just take the knight and push the bishop in, that looks good.
Yeah.
Okay. Should I do...
Well, I mean, yeah, I think well, I think in general it's good for you to do these puzzles. If you don't like Puzzle Rush, I think we found like a pretty good level. You're pushing it a little bit, so you're not quite taking it seriously enough. But you need to keep in mind that these puzzles, if they were in Puzzle Rush, they would be at like 40, right?
Yeah.
So you need to treat them with some respect.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't treat them with as much respect, but I can eventually.
Yeah. So just keep in mind to have puzzles as a part of your scheme.
Okay. Okay. Should we do more or should we try something else now?
Let's do something else.
Okay. Lead the way, Hammer.
Okay. Go on chess.com and then I'm gonna invite you to a board, to an analysis board.
Okay.
So I was thinking we're gonna do something we haven't really done.
Okay.
Before.
Also, wait, why was your rating 2500? What happened?
Maybe it's my rapid rating.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, that makes sense. But it was just surprising, you know.
I don't know how to respond to that.
No, I didn't know if you had
Are you
like a
trying
bad...
to,
No,
like,
I wasn't trying to
diss
poke
me
you.
or neg me?
No, I'm not trying to neg you. I just didn't know what had happened. Because it's like if you saw me at 2000, you'd be like, what happened? You know, it was kind of the same sentiment. I wasn't trying to neg. I was just very confused.
Okay.
Which makes sense if it's your rapid rating. Okay.
White to move.
Okay. White to move. Am I just supposed to try to think about the plan in this position, since obviously it's not a tactical thing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Should I think out loud or take my headphones out and then come back?
I think thinking out loud would be good.
Okay. So I noticed backwards pawn on d6. Obviously, d5 would be a nice outpost for my knight here. I'll let you do the highlighting. What else? I have 3 versus 2 on the queen side. Sort of, because there's a pawn on d6. What else? It's a bishop versus a knight. Currently, the bishop has the pawns on dark squares.
Do you need this summation for yourself?
No, I just I like thinking aloud when I'm doing analysis, especially if there's people following along.
Sure.
Um, I know
You can be a bit more concrete.
a bit more concrete. Okay. Well, I mean the most obvious kind of plan I'd want to get to is something like knight c2 knight e3 or knight c2 knight b4. Um oh, can black push d5 right away and sack? I don't think so, so it's maybe not a rush. What else? c4 is an interesting idea because it would really cement the pawn in on d6, and if he takes, and I guess I do have a 2 versus 1 on the queen side, so maybe a pass pawn in the future, and then also knight e3. So c4 is another idea. What else? Is there anything that's winning? No reason to play anything crazy like queen d5. Okay, so let me think. Other moves, f4 looks kind of crazy. Probably doesn't make sense. Wouldn't play it. Okay, so let me think what I like the best. I mean, probably just knight c2.
Okay. And if black goes a5?
And if black goes a5, I mean, knight e3 is the obvious move here. I don't know if there's something better. If I'm afraid of b4 coming in, I need to decide if I want to do something about that first. I don't want to. I don't. Is it an issue if he gets b4?
Are you asking me?
No, I'm thinking. I'm asking myself. I mean, if he gets b4, I take, he takes. He's got a pawn on b4, but it's easy enough to trade off later on. I'm not really too concerned about it. So yeah, I'd probably just play knight e3.
Okay, good. Yeah, this is the correct answer. And the reason I asked you about a5 is that if you do something else, like for instance a3, then black does have the option of bishop g5,
Right.
in which case black has prevented both of your routes to your ideal square on d5.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, I guess it's part of one of the advantages of doing an easy puzzle is to kind of see you fighting against your own ghosts.
Okay, what ghosts?
And dismissing it. Like ghost ideas, right? That you start worrying about things you shouldn't be worrying about.
Right.
Like this b4 push and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like you were massively worried.
No, I was just checking it over.
One thing worth mentioning. So Andrea in this position, she went queen d2.
Because she was afraid of b4?
No, she just wanted to double against the pawn on d6.
Interesting.
But here, black's move d5 is in fact very powerful. Because not only do you lose the square d5 for the knight, in addition, the exchange is made, and even though white here is up a pawn, in like considering the very bad state of white's pawns being very disconnected from each other, you're gonna lose at least one of them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the answer was just getting the knight to its ideal square on d5.
And I solved it.
Yes.
Did I get a gold star, Hammer?
I ranked. I tried to do a ranking of the puzzles. I ranked this 1 out of 5.
So
You don't get a gold star for the one ranked puzzles.
that's fine, chat. We'll get it eventually. Chat,
Okay,
did you
here
get
you're
that
playing,
one?
You're playing with the black pieces.
Okay. Oh, I like it. It's based on positions that I play. Well, okay, intuitively, if I was playing Blitz, I think I would play knight b d7. Or yeah, I would usually play knight b d7 here, but I guess that might be against the lines with c4. But let me just think here. Tactics. It looks like I could take on e4 and consider d5. I'll look into that, but I want to see if there's anything else first. Although, if you gave me this position, it makes me think that you want me to consider it. So I will look into it. So knight takes e4, knight takes e4, d5. If bishop takes, queen takes, that looks fine because we got a bishop. If knight takes e4, knight takes e4, d5, bishop d3, I take on e4, bishop takes, and then I make a move like c5. That looks like an interesting way to play this position. Okay. I don't want to get it wrong. Now that I know Andrea did the same training exercises and it's a competition and I have to do better. Oh, shit. Okay. I must go up the sibling leaderboard.
So far, you definitely won on the first one.
Yeah. Yeah. If I played a quiet move like knight b d7, e5, d takes e5, and that looks actually pretty bad for me. I don't think I'm supposed to allow e5 here. Maybe a move like knight c6, but then if he pushes d5, I've seen some people play things like knight c6, d5, knight b8, and then go for the e5 or c5 square, so that could potentially be an option, knight c6. But if you go knight c6, e5, d takes e5, d takes e5, queen takes, knight f d7, then you're... Oh, then he has e6. They always have the move where they play e6 and they sack the pawn, and that's very annoying. Okay, so we can't allow e5 is the takeaway. So if we can't allow e5, then we're either pushing e5 here, and sometimes that sack works. I don't know if it works here. So it's either e5 or knight takes e4. If we go e5, and he pushes d5, that's fine, even though we blocked our bishop. But it's a King's Indian. That's what you do. You block your bishop. It's a very weird opening. Okay. What else? Well, e5, d takes, queen takes, rook takes, knight takes e5. And then f7 is under attack. That looks bad. Okay, so then it's probably knight takes e4. Unless there's something I'm missing.
Okay, so knight takes e4 is the right move.
Yeah.
But part of this is just that the peerage is such a bad opening that when you get the opportunity to stop this incredible center white has assembled, then you want to do something about it, given the opportunity.
But I did come to that solution. I was just doing a deep analysis to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Yeah. Knight takes pawn is an excellent move. And then the pawn coming in with the fork.
Yep.
So the bishop retreats.
Mm-hmm.
There's an exchange. And the difference in the position is that previously white had two great pawns in the center and black didn't really have much central control.
Yeah.
Whereas here, white has, one pawn in the center, but black kind of has potential, at least, of having some pawns in the center as well.
Yeah.
So it's really all about central pawn control and how the pseudo sacrifice of the knight helps you improve your central pawn control because it eliminates white's dominance.
And here as black, would you play c5?
So this is actually the next puzzle.
Okay. What do you play here as black?
Yes.
Well, c5 is the inclination I have. Is there anything else, like, for example, f5, bishop d3, Bishop takes, knight takes, then bishop c4, check, which you could technically... So I guess my question is, f5 looks terrible, but does it accidentally, or does it somehow win a pawn? First, is what I'm going to answer. So if f5, bishop d3, bishop takes d4, I guess the knight doesn't take first, he plays bishop c4 right away, in which case then I do lose the piece back, so it does not work, and that looks pretty bad. Okay. If I play c5 and he takes, I mean, I could play queen a5 if I want to just win the pawn back. What I like about c5 is that we're getting off one of the center pawns. We're opening up the bishop. We don't really have any weaknesses. If he tries to protect it, he might get an isolated pawn. What other kinds of developmental plans would black have here? Because I want to get my knight out, but if I put my knight on c6, then my pawn is stuck. Knight to d7 doesn't really have a good square. My bishop can't currently move because it has to defend b7, so I think here it's just tricky to find out how to develop, and move like c5 just makes a lot of sense to have more space, get my queen out. Anything else I'd consider here? No, that's about it. Okay, I play c5. You're muted. On your side, I didn't mute you.
My bad. I was answering messages from Andrea on openings.
Okay.
And my mute button is something, somewhere. So c5, what happens if d takes c5?
Queen a5.
C6? Sorry, c3.
Queen takes c5.
Yeah, okay. So that is what I would do. But the computer says it's not great. So I guess you get points for doing what a grandmaster would do. But I'm here to tell you that there's an even better way. So after c5, which is the correct move, I'll give you this. D takes c5. I want you to see if you can find a better plan.
Okay. So there's the option of queen takes d1 and queen c7. Those are two other options. Queen c7. Queen c7 is kind of annoying. I guess white could just castle. And then if white castles, what are the annoying moves here? Okay, so queen c7. Why do I like queen c7? I like queen c7 because rook d8 is coming in with a tempo, and we're still putting pressure on c5.
What differentiates it from queen a5?
Queen a5, I guess if you play c3, you don't have to move your queen back. Yeah, I guess there's not much of a difference between queen c5 and queen a5. It feels different. It feels like c3, b4 could come with tempo, but then c3 would be very weak if the pawn from b2 to b4 ever moves, so maybe that's not the case. There's also knight a6 to try to take the pawn back with a knight. What else does queen c7 do? I don't see any other traps or ideas. What else does queen c7 do? It makes it easier to develop your knight to c6 because it's defended by the queen, and you're not going to have double pawns if you need to do things like that. It also protects the b7 square so that your bishop on c8 can move. So, I mean, queen c7 is also a square where you could leave your queen longer term than a5 because you're holding the f4 square as well. You have some control over the center. So long term, I'd rather have my queen on c7 than a5, and it's kind of doing the same thing.
You need the pawn back.
Yeah. You're right. And if I play queen c7, I guess there's also... Well, you can't play b4. I mean, if I play queen c7, how is white gonna defend the pawn? I could also just play knight a6.
Knight a6, there's c6.
Ah, that makes sense. c6 is tricky. Okay, I mean, queen c7 is gonna win the pawn back. What does white do after queen c7? You can't play...
c3 probably?
c3? And then you play knight a6? And then I guess you still have c6 to ruin the pawn structure. But c3 doesn't necessarily defend the pawn. I don't see that there's a better way to win the pawn than with the queen. But obviously there is, or we wouldn't be here.
Okay, so I think let's discuss and move on.
Okay.
Yeah. So queen a5 is definitely what I would have done if I didn't know anything about this position. And it makes a lot of sense just getting the pawn back, at which black has an advantage of some sorts in the center. That black has these two pawns, while white only has the one. And so in essence, it's about this pawn on e7, and that it's a central pawn, and that white's pawn on c3 is central adjacent, but not really central, and maybe black can do something with this central pawn majority and push it forward. The computers didn't really like this, which came as a bit of a surprise to me. And they suggested two things. Number one, they said the queen exchange is actually quite good. The idea being that in some line here, with the knight trying to take back the pawn, the computer says that this situation where black sacrifices a pawn in a queenless middle game is almost winning for black, which well, I find very hard to kind of believe at first instance, but once you think about it, it kind of makes sense. Because in order to block this bishop's diagonal, you kind of want to play c3. And then after knight c5, the knight is headed for this d3 square. And the bishop on c6 is, in fact, kind of getting trapped. It's really struggling to find a way out.
This may be reasonable, but I will say, as somebody who doesn't play openings where I'm used to sacking any pawns for compensation, it's hard to think of ideas like that, because this is not similar to what I
no,
play.
I think it's unrealistic. I'm just mentioning it because it's kind of interesting to see how you can sacrifice a pawn in a queenless middle game and still kind of almost be winning.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Like,
it is an interesting
fascinating.
idea.
Yeah, it's fascinating seeing how dynamic chess can be, but for a human to correctly assess those dynamics is, I mean, close to impossible, I would say. Well, I'm sure there are people who can do it, but I'm not one of them. So what I was hoping for from you is queen c7, and then the realization that you can get back this pawn with the knight, which will have the added benefit of chasing white's best piece away.
I did consider that, and I did talk about queen c7, but then you brought up c6, and I wasn't sure if knight d7.
So the reason I brought up c6 is because I thought you were saying knight a6 here.
Well, I was looking over it, but I also talked about queen c7 and then bringing the knight after, and I still had to decide about c6, because then instead of taking the pawn back with the queen, I'd have to take with the pawn, and then I'd have a worse pawn structure, so it's kind of a trade-off, but I did consider that.
Yeah, so queen c7 in one way, the main idea is just preventing white from getting c6,
I
and
said
then
that.
if cat,
I said that.
yeah, yeah, no, yeah, no. I mean, to my eyes, because I stopped you after you said knight a6, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and then you kind of got lost that you thought this was a bad pawn structure,
Well,
which
I wasn't
it's not
sure.
great.
I wasn't sure if this was better than just taking with the queen and bringing out the knight after and keeping my pawns
Yeah,
together.
yeah. But also to be fair, after c6, you could just go b6.
Yeah.
This guy, yeah, this guy is not gonna be safe,
That is.
and you're chasing this.
That's true.
Um, but yeah, the main idea is just using the knight to recapture the pawn instead of the queen, which I agree with you. I feel like you were onto that.
Okay, that's good. I actually, this reminds me of how it must be really helpful to train opening positions like this in openings you play. Like if I had something like this with
Uh,
King's Indian or
yeah.
French.
Well, I don't want you to play the perch anymore.
I don't. I play kid. And
Yeah.
whenever e4
Well,
comes in, I
but
play
the kid
whenever.
is wildly different,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I don't play this in
The pawn on
lines.
c4
Yeah.
is like it's a complete game changer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't play the Perts. Andrea does.
Yeah.
Which
And
she.
Andrea knew this like in 1 second because apparently it was some kind of theory she studied.
Makes
But
sense.
then she was struggling with the c5.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, next position.
Okay.
Okay. This one you're going to be doing from the white side.
Okay. Um. mm,
What's your first thought?
I'm just observing the center and thinking at what points would I ever want to push d5 or e5. I'm looking at the bishop on b6. I'm just kind of getting a feel for the position since
Yeah.
I need to first understand it since
Yeah,
again,
that's true.
less familiar.
I mean
Okay.
that's what makes puzzles like these a bit tricky because normally when you arrive at a position like this, you already would have been thinking about it for 20
Yeah,
minutes
yeah,
already.
exactly. So puzzles and things like that do feel very different.
Yeah.
All right. So what would we think about here? I mean, I'm looking to see if e5 is interesting at all because it could, if there's some kind of tactical thing or like a push to e6, it could be good, but otherwise it's not good to just trade off my center. E5, d takes. Let's say he moves the knight to g4. And then I just have a pawn there. If I push it to e6, that doesn't look really great. Okay, so I don't think that's a good move. He probably wants to make a move like bishop g4 next. And then if I play a move like bishop e3 to defend the pawn on d4, he could take the knight, and I can't take with the queen because I lose a pawn. So h3 is a move I would consider here, just to make sure that I don't have to deal with that pin. What else? I mean, that kind of seems like part of the key to this position, because black's pieces are putting pressure on the center. Where else is his bishop gonna go? He can't go put his bishop to e6 because d5. g4 is the best square for his bishop. So yeah, I would probably play h3 here, intuitively.
Yeah. Are you happy with the answer, or do you want to go beyond your intuition?
Oh, that makes me feel like maybe my intuition was wrong.
I'm just asking a question.
It's a riddle, chat. Let's see. Are there other moves that are good? I mean, if the bishop comes to g4, I'm gonna have to do something about it. No, I think it's correct.
Okay, well done.
Yeah!
You're gonna have the black pieces here.
Okay. Chat.
So H3 is just a fantastic move, like you said, to prevent bishop g4. And when you prevent bishop g4, yes, like you said, you make the life difficult for the opponent's bishop, but you also manage to keep your ideal center with your 2 pawns really well placed in the middle.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Makes sense. Okay. Black to move here. All right. First, I'm just going to get familiarity with the position. Even material. And it feels like white's pieces are slightly more pointed towards my king than the other way around. E6 is weak, but so is d4. Alright, so... Are there any threats here if it was white's turn to move that I need to be careful? I'm looking from black's point of view, right?
Yes, black.
So something like rook e1, putting pressure on e6, I'd have to play rook e8. If he goes d5, I could push, so that doesn't really seem like a concern. What else? D5 is d5 annoying. I mean, I think if white somehow frees up the bishop and is putting pressure towards g7, that is actually fairly annoying. So maybe d5 is the threat here. But if he pushes d5 and I push e5, and then rook e1, let's say he's trying to get rid of my pawn. Or actually, sorry, if I push d5, maybe that's just a free pawn, and he could take right away, because I don't think the pin is important enough. Because if he pushes d5 and I can't push e5, that's a problem. Although, with d5, I do have moves like bishop c5 check, and then taking the pawn. Okay, let me think about this.
So, how many people in chat saw this position and this lesson with Alexandra? No, sorry, with Andrea.
It's a good question.
And how do you feel about looking at the same thing twice?
I'm not gonna look at chat because I don't want to get spoilers. I'm also considering e5 here. D takes. No, that I don't really get it back. Okay.
Good for reinforcement. That is the correct answer, Fishy Fantasy.
Okay.
So, in order to master something, we do need to have some repetition.
That is
And
true.
this is chat's repetition.
Chat, you're doing your work as well.
Good positions.
If I play rook...
Remembering
Yeah.
what the ideas were. Sorry, I was trying to give you some time to think.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm going to take my headphones out for a second and think. And then you could talk to chat. Or I could think out loud. You tell me.
Recycling content is something we really do on this channel. The beauty in repetition. I like that the Sleepy Philosopher username is the one to bring out the Geary quotes. You gotta see the beauty in repetition, people. And you gotta have a Twitter account. Make sure you follow Andrea Botez, Alexandra Botez, and Hammer.
Okay, wait. I need to put you in a cup. Andrea's right. I still hear you when you're talking. Putting you in a cup. Hammer proof. Oh my god, but the fucking beeping in the garage is terrible. At least when I think out loud, I don't focus on the beeping.
Okay, well, think out loud then. Well, now you can't hear me because I'm in the coconut The hammer should really be outside the coconut, making it enjoyable for eating, not the other way around. People, when you eat coconuts, how do you crack it? Do you use a hammer or do you use a machete? We have a poll. With your head. Wow,
Mm,
that sounds rough. Peer pressure? Credit card at a grocery store?
yeah, there's a beeping in the background. I think if I'm not thinking out loud, I'm going to be driven slowly insane by the beeping in the garage. It just beeps every 3 seconds, and it is actually driving me crazy.
Okay.
And I
Well,
cannot think with it in the back.
well then get your
Oh god.
start thinking out loud then.
Yeah, okay. So
I successfully entertained chat.
that's good. No, it's
We
not
had a
copium,
nice
you guys.
discussion.
It's beeping nonstop. My sister and my dad try to fix it. It is terrible. It is extremely annoying. Okay. So again, I mean, I don't think I think I like White's position maybe a little bit better. I don't see how we're gonna get attack on the king side. A move like Rook C2 doesn't work right now. It's under attack. So I think we just need to be careful about moves like D5. A move like Rook E8 is secure, but it doesn't really do much. But if there's D5, it just makes pushing E5 a little bit easier. Not that maybe you even should push though. And again, with D5, I still don't know if Bishop C5 check works. I think Bishop C5 check does work, and then you just take with the queen. So maybe he can't even push D5. There's just there's not so much in this position. It's not a very interesting position. I do not like this position, and I need to figure out what to do with it. But I don't like it. I don't like it.
The thing is that in some of your games, you may end up in positions you don't like.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's important to kind of have the ability to follow through.
I have the ability to follow through.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Well, I don't feel like pushing any of my pawns. None of that makes sense. My queen needs to be placed where she is because we're protecting e6. Is there a better square for the bishop? Like bishop f8, maybe? d5 doesn't work. I mean, bishop f8 is defensive. Like, maybe we play bishop f8, g6, and reposition our bishop on g7. That's another idea. If we play bishop f8, and let's say move like rook e1, well, we could just play rook e8, and then the pawn's defended. Although then maybe e5 is coming in. There's also bishop e7 ideas to put the bishop on f6 instead. I guess I just need to be careful that the pawn on e6 isn't too weak and that we position our bishop on a good square. There's also bishop b4, which just doesn't allow rook e1. What else would bishop b4 do? Bishop b4, maybe bishop c3 and try to trade off the bishops. I don't know if we need to do that though. Bishop b4, and if he pushes d5, then you just come back, bishop c5 check, and then take on d5. So, I don't know. Bishop e4, bishop f8, maybe moves I would consider. I think what we probably want to do is his pawn is on a dark square. My pawn is on a light square, so maybe I guess if I could attack it, it would be more annoying for him. What about bishop f8? Well, bishop f8, I can't even get my bishop to g7, because if I push g6, he has moves like rook f6, which are very annoying. So maybe it is moves like bishop e7. But if I play bishop e7, he plays rook e1, and then I can't defend my own pawn, which is not great. The garage is moving. So maybe the move is something like rook e8 first, and then figure it out. We play rook e8, we wait, and then we see what to do. That gives open the c file. I just don't see a lot of other options here. What else? If I play...
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is that in a lot of situations you want to go rook e8.
I want
And
to
I
have that
feel
as
like
an option, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you haven't really kind of talked about how that feels like a major defeat because you're taking your rook off an open file. So it seems like you're just saying, "Oh, I need to do this out of necessity," but at the same time, I don't feel like I don't feel like you're feeling sad enough about having to go rook e8.
That's fair. I did recognize to myself that I was giving up the open file, but it's just hard to figure out what to do in this position.
Yeah.
Which is why maybe bishop b4 I was also looking at.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I mean, rook e1 is going to come at some point, and I have to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
Which is why I was considering bishop b4, but then maybe a3 even comes and I get kicked. So if I do bishop e7 and he goes rook e1, I could play bishop f6, give him the trade, and then try something like rook c2. Maybe we just need to give up the e6 pawn if rook e8 is that bad.
And how do you feel about that position after rook c2?
Let me see. So
Are you gonna get your pawn back?
I'll arrow it for chat also. So bishop e7, rook e1, bishop f6, queen takes, rook c2. If rook e1 check, king f7, rook a8. Well, you can't play rook a8 because you lose a bishop, so actually, then you'd move the bishop, and you do get a pawn back, so that's probably fine. It's probably good, actually, because even if you're grabbing a2 and d4 is in the center, that bishop e2 is probably the best line here.
Yeah.
You look so grumpy even when I say the correct line that I have no idea if it's right or if I just completely
That's kind of the
bombed.
point, though.
You
That's kind of the
look
point,
disappointed even as I'm saying it.
But that's the point. I'm doing it on purpose.
Okay, well, it's working.
Because I don't want to give you kind of the right answer before you're done doing your calculations.
Right. We would hate to have the right answer before.
Yeah. Okay, so bishop e7 is a pretty good move. One of the advantages, blocking the rook if it can get to the f6 square, and also putting great pressure in towards the middle. Mm-hmm. And as you pointed out, preventing this d5 move is quite crucial.
My dad solved the beeping. Can we have a round of applause for Papa Botez fixing the garage beeping? Thank God. Okay. All right. We're good. Thank you.
Okay. So, yeah, if you go like rook e8, rook e1, you're struggling to prevent d5 next.
Yeah.
And if white does get d5, this is something you touched upon at the beginning. You wanted to say that d5 was okay if you could answer with e5. But really what has happened here is that you went from a position where it was the white bishop.
Yeah, no, I realized that wasn't very good, which is why I hadn't come to a conclusion yet.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so bishop e7 is the start of a very good maneuvering, and it's very important, like you saw, that you need also to have a response against this immediate attack on black's pawn.
Yeah.
And like you said, the pawn cannot be defended. That's kind of the disadvantage of this bishop move. But fortunately, by just moving the bishop where it was going anyway, you prevent the exchange, because after the exchange, you're winning 2 pawns,
Mm-hmm.
actually, not only one. So, like, the bishop has to move. Bishop comes in, gives a check, forces the king into the corner. You
Mm-hmm.
take another pawn, and you're up a pawn in the endgame.
Yeah.
And your rook is way more active, and, white's king is bad.
That was a very nice maneuver.
Yeah.
That was a nice one, right,
And
chat?
also for completion, this kind of idea
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work because of, well, something like this.
That makes
Well,
sense.
maybe, yeah, this was inaccurate. Why is bishop c5 worse than bishop b2?
Um, because you have B2. Oh, sorry, you don't have B2. I had brain fart for a second.
Okay, never mind. Just maybe white can sacrifice
Oh, okay.
and get this endgame.
Yeah,
Maybe this
yeah.
can be a draw
That makes
because
sense.
there's so few pawns left.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But all in all, good.
Yay.
Moving on, I'm gonna find the next position,
Mm,
and boom, you're playing with the black pieces.
okay. Another fascinating position. We are down a pawn. No, we're not. We're equal material. C pawn for the E pawn. Opposite color bishops. His rook has the open file. B2 pawn is backwards. A4 is slightly overextended. What else do we need to know? King's around even. Okay, so what to do? Okay. My first instinct is stuff like rook a8, rook a5, rook b5. But that's just an instinct. E5 is something I'd look at, but I think is bad just based off intuition. H4, also something I'd look at, but after G4, I don't think it's that good. Yeah, because he pushes, and I don't love that. Rook a8. He could try rook a8. If I get my rook to a5 and then rook to b5, it is pretty annoying because he's gonna have to defend the b2 pawn, but also I can get my rook onto b3, which is putting pressure on the entire third rank, which includes the g3 pawn and the h3 pawn. Of course, I wouldn't want to give up the d8 square for the rook, for the white rook, so I'd probably have to play king e7 at some point during that. So that's one idea. So I could pause for a second, and we can take off the arrows. Because if I do play rook a8, if he makes a move like bishop d2, well then I get the open file and I get rook d8. So at least I got something, which feels good. If I play rook a8, is there any other way for him to block my rook coming to a5? B4 doesn't work. I don't think he can block it. I don't think he can block rook a5. Okay. What else should I consider here? Okay, rook f8. What do I think his best move would be after rook a8? What would he do after rook a8? I mean, he can make a move like rook d2. That doesn't really do much. But then if I play rook a5, he... rook d8 also... I don't know if it's, well, rook d8 is something he could consider if I were to do that. Because if I play something like king e7, he has rook h8, and he can start coming behind my pawns. But I can take it slow. I could play rook a8, rook d2, king e7, if that's really the situation. And then my rook is still coming to a5. I'm not letting him come in on the back row. My rook is coming to b5. You can't stop it. It's going to put pressure on b2 and on b3. All of my pawns are protected, so it feels like a good thing. I also have king g6 if I don't want to do that. But then I have to be careful about the pawn on e6, which I can, because I could just put my bishop on d5, and then it protects everything. So I'd have to look into that. But generally speaking, at this point, I would have calculated enough to feel confident to play rook a8.
Okay. On rook a8, I go g4.
Okay. And then...
What do you do?
Probably... I need to think about it, because if I push to h4, then that pawn is weak and it's on a dark square. So probably I would take.
I'll take back.
And then I play rook a5 or king e7.
You have to choose one.
I don't really, I'm not worried. I would play rook a5.
Okay, I'll go rook d4.
Okay. I'll take the pawn on c5.
I'll go rook d7 check.
I'll take with the bishop.
I'll take your rook.
And then I'm up a pawn, and it's opposite color bishop endgame, so it's probably a draw. But I don't see anything clearly winning in this position, which maybe there is, and I'm missing.
Sure, but the opposite colored bishop endgame with a pawn up is not... I don't understand why you're putting value into that you have an extra pawn.
Okay, okay, so you don't
quite clearly just completely dead.
That's fair. So maybe if you play rook d4, so I guess you're saying that black can't really make progress there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I like your plan. Your plan is great. But it's just that white has a counter plan that is equally great.
Okay.
Like, if you were allowed to do what you wanted to do, getting the rook to b3, black is winning. Even though it's opposite colored bishops.
Oh, wait a second. Sorry. Sorry, I was wrong. Because if I go rook a8 and you push g4, g takes, h takes. I guess if I go back to rook h8, then you have king g3. So actually, I haven't really made much progress there either. Okay, so I guess the point is I don't want to let the rook get to d4. Is there any other way he could stop my plan? Yes, but it would be slower. So maybe I would consider a move like e5, but it feels like I'm going to make an isolated pawn, so I don't know about that.
So in general, you want to be putting your pawns on the opposite as your own bishop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's when the bishop and pawns work together the best.
Yeah.
The pawns take responsibility for the squares that the bishop cannot.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I just that
however, like, take this example, right? You have a bishop on the light squares. If you go h4, you're putting your pawn on a dark square which is supposed to be good when you have a bishop on the light squares.
Mm-hmm.
But after g4, white is managing to do the same thing, putting their pawns on the light squares with their bishop on the dark squares.
Mm-hmm.
And white having already, a bit of a being definitely worse in the position, it's more valuable for white to get this cooperation between the pieces than it is for black.
Mm-hmm. So it
Um,
feels like you're saying e5 is the move here.
yeah, I wasn't really trying to give hints, but
Well, I feel like, and it doesn't have to be a hint. After that explanation, it feels like e5 is the move. Mostly because e5, I mean, if we're going with the hint you said with pawns on opposite color, if it's e5 and you take and
well,
I
I
take,
also said that it's nice to have your own pawns on opposite colors, but I also did mention that you may want to avoid that the opponent manages to do it.
which is why I think it's e5, because then if you play f4, I mean, actually, he can play f4, but then you play bishop e. Can you play bishop d5? You can probably push g6 after f5, and that's probably why it doesn't work. But
So after e5, I'll take and go rook d6.
yeah, that was my worry with e5. If e5 f takes f take, I was worried about him taking on e5, and even if it's an opposite color square, I'm worried about
Yeah.
the isolated pawn.
Yeah.
So that was my concern. So maybe you weren't saying that. Okay.
Well, I mean, this is a difficult position. I mean, we spent like half an hour on it with Andrea.
Yes, so we will spend 20.
Sure.
B5, c takes b6. We're not gonna get that pawn back, so I don't know why we would do that. Okay, give me a second.
If you go rook a8,
Mm-hmm.
I go g4.
Yes. And I need to
Why
think.
am I going g4?
Because you're putting your pawns on the opposite color of your bishop.
You don't have to be snotty about it.
Nah, I'm just quoting. Yeah, that's why. That's why. So if I play rook a8 and you play g4, again, we don't like h4 for that particular reason where the pawn is actually going to be weak, and that is concerning. If I take, h takes, and then push e5, f takes, and then you play rook d6, then we can play. I don't remember if my rook was on a8 or a5. Where was it? Rook a8, b4. Oh, okay, it was on b8. Never mind. So it was here. It was g4. I take, white takes. This is after my rook is on a8.
Yeah.
You're taking my arrows off?
Well, I was making the same move. I was trying to put them on.
Oh, okay, yeah. So rook a8, g4, h takes, e5, f takes, rook d6. And then we play bishop a5. Oh, sorry, rook a5. And then you can't stop the rook coming to b5, which is actually annoying then.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. I would argue it would be even better if we accomplished this without white getting their pawn to a light square.
Got it. Okay.
But in general, your plans are good.
I'll take
Like,
that.
yeah. So the right move is king g6.
Interesting.
But
That's a weird
the
move.
reason I'm giving you this kind of without giving you a chance to kind of find it after having had these discussions um, is because I feel like other than this one plan, you found the other plans very well. So
Okay.
basically, you found the right plans. You just needed to find uh, another plan to put first, and then do the other stuff.
Got it.
So the
Right. King
reason for this move
G6.
is to go
Yeah, King F5, and he can't push G4 right away because of Rook H2.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and then you can go Rook A8, and then you can go E5, and also you have the added benefit of that when you now go E5. Um, when you now go E5, your king isn't getting cut off by the rook, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that
So
makes sense.
your king is already here, and honestly, one of the plans here, in addition to trying to get around here, you can just go king E4, and then like the threat on this bishop and the rook invading on the F file is also very serious.
That makes sense. That's
Um,
actually a really nice plan.
yeah, so it's like you had the two right plans. You had this e5 plan, which I think you had to take out the d4 square, which was important because that was one of the main ways for me to defend.
Mm-hmm.
And you had this plan, which is also very good. And then you just gotta put it all together in the best possible way, which is where king g6 comes in,
Makes
because you want to
sense.
improve. You want to improve your position to the maximum before, yeah, starting the next steps, the irreversible steps.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like rook a8 allows g4, that's irreversible, and
Mm-hmm.
e5 allowing the trade maybe a bit too soon,
So
even
what?
though
What if you play King G6 and I play Rook D4?
sure, king f5.
Mm, yeah. I mean, it's still much better for Black. Cause you get.
Yeah, so like part of the reason for keeping the rook here is just, discouraging g4 because the rook can always
Yeah.
maybe come in
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I mean, I get the gist of you maybe staying
Yeah,
here
but then
to
you don't
make
really have what to do with your
this.
Rook other than G4. It feels a little dead.
Yeah.
Although it seems like a way White could try to defend this position.
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't seem that bad, but now the rook is kind of misplaced and you got to deal with this one invading and
The Rook
when you
is
put the king
misplaced, but
here.
this does feel hard to win as Black.
Yeah, no, I mean, black is not winning in the initial
Yeah.
position. But
Yeah.
you're maximizing white's difficulty and holding a draw.
Mm-hmm.
And moving the king up is a big challenge for black to defend.
That makes sense.
No, for white to defend. So.
Okay. So do we feel
Okay.
comfortable with this one now?
Yeah. No, I think you found some good plans, and then getting the king up, preventing the g4 break. You can always do better, but it's also about just looking at the position and like discussing the answer. Like the worst thing you can do with puzzles is like spending too long on one puzzle and never checking the answer. Like if you get stuck on a puzzle, that is that is a sign for you uh to just check the answer,
Mm-hmm.
because it's also about learning efficiency. If there's like, it doesn't really apply to positional exercises like these, but I guess it could. But in especially like tactical puzzles, if you're doing a set where most of them you can solve in 2 minutes, right, or
Mm-hmm.
1 minute, and then there's one puzzle you can solve for 10 minutes, that's that's the world telling you that you have some hole in your thinking, and that you need to check the answer to this puzzle so that you learn what you didn't know before,
And with
and
puzzles
then
that you get
move on with
wrong,
your life.
do you usually want to redo them within time? And like, do you usually save the puzzles you do wrong and try to fix them?
No.
Okay. Because I was told that's a good training technique.
There's like a million puzzles on chess.com, right?
Yeah.
So you'll probably face the similar theme later on. It's just that when you get it wrong, you want to be aware what you did wrong so that you don't make the same mistake in a similar situation the next time. Like the world is never going to replicate your puzzles in a real life game, but you're going to have similar themes.
Yeah.
So it's the same for why would you save that specific puzzle when you know, a similar theme is going to pop up later anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so it's just a
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, next
Okay.
puzzle.
White to move.
All right. Let's get situated. We are down a pawn as white. Black's
Okay,
bishops.
let's start with your counting skills.
Sorry, we are even material. What else? Black hasn't castled yet. Semi-open F-file. Black's bishop is blocked by his own pawns. B7 is looking into D5. Our bishop on C1 needs to move at some point. Okay. So D4 doesn't work, but it looks interesting.
What is it with you Botez girls and this move D4?
It just looks like it could be fun, but I already said it doesn't work. I said it doesn't
Okay.
work right away. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying lines I wouldn't even look at. D3 opens up the bishop. It's a reasonable move, but maybe we have better. A5 would kind of cement Black's position in, so something I would consider is A5 so that Black doesn't have the ability to do it. B3, I don't think is really necessary. Anything that we can do with the king before he castles and it's too late. Like a move like bishop E4 and try to start getting attack on the king if he castles. That's another option. Okay, so I would consider moves like bishop E4, E3, A5. Let me see if there's anything else that would come to mind. Okay. Anything else? Not really. I don't see something else that could be so good. I mean, B3 maybe, but I don't love it. It feels like everything is just gonna get blocked up. Okay. Rook takes F7 doesn't work. Anything else? Queen B3 doesn't really do much. Okay, alright. So now I'm just gonna start thinking of which ones I like the most. A5 is interesting. So if Black were to play A5, how much does that improve his position? It lets his knight get to B6. But I could just defend that pretty easily with a move like B3. So mostly it just close up the queen side. So I guess is A5 advantageous for me to not let the knight go to that square and to try to keep it a little bit more cramped and control B6? Well, he'll have moves like rook, bishop C7 in the future trying to put pressure on the pawn. I can always defend it with queen A5. What else could I use on A5 for? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about it. If I make a move like D3 and he castles, where is my bishop gonna go? I guess I don't have great squares. He can go to E3. Doesn't do so much. I mean, C5 I guess could be a square that I try to attack in the future, but it's overprotected right now. So it is hard to find a plan in a position like this. Okay, so the bishop E4 idea, let's say we play bishop E4 and he castles, let's say, he can also play knight f6, but let's say he castles. I could play bishop b1 and do the little annoying queen b2, I'm trying to checkmate you ideas, which would try to get him to push g6. But if he does push g6, it doesn't look that bad for him. I mean, it's weakening. Actually, it is kind of weakening the squares. If I get him to push g6, I could try to get the dark squared bishop out. Even with a move like d4, sack a pawn, and then put my bishop out on h6. But that's kind of far-fetched.
I swear, this d4 move, like Andrea was going on and on about it.
I'm talking about it deep into a variation though. Like if something
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
very deep.
Yeah,
Move 2 of
that's
the variation.
more like, no, it was bishop e4, bishop b1, queen c2. It was on move 4. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, no, I don't think that's great. It's just hard to find a decent plan here for white. What else? What else? It's a very weird position.
Yeah, it's quite unusual.
Yeah. I guess I'd
Do you
want to
want
get...
me to give you a hint?
No, not yet. Maybe I want to get my bishop on g5, and that's the best square. d3, and then like h4 ideas. But even if I tried to d3 castle h4, he can just push h6. But then I could play bishop e4. And basically what I'm just trying to do is get my pieces to point towards the king, which feels like it gives me something. Although you still have knight f6 ideas. It would be cool if I could have both of my... The reason I liked d4 is because I could have both of my bishops pointing towards the king, but unnecessary.
How does d4 help you in a way d3 does not?
Because if I have my bishop on e4 and the knight goes to f6, I guess I could move it to f5. I guess I can move it to f5. That works. So it's fine. It's just you really seem to like the d4 move, so I'm trying to weave it into my thinking.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I got
Thank
you. Okay. So... Yeah, okay, d3, castles. Could even play bishop e4 first. He can't... If he plays knight f6 at that point, then I play bishop g5, so he's not going to play knight f6. And then what I would probably try to do is move my king over to h1 so that I get ideas like knight f1 to free up my queen and reposition my knight somewhere where it could potentially, I don't know why it's hard to speak English, participate in the plan. And the whole point is that everything on the queen side is really blocked off, and the center is really blocked off. There's no way to open it. So probably I'd be playing for some kind of kingside attack here because there isn't anything else to do.
Yeah. That's good. Kingside attack is very important.
Yay. Okay.
So let's see. Who's going to get the kingside attack here? The person with 4 pawns or the person with the 2 pawns? Well, to give you one hint, after d3, I'm playing h5.
Got it. Okay, so after d3, you're gonna play h5. Okay, but if you play h5, then I would push h4.
Okay, do you want me to counter?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, let me try and do this without blundering. I was thinking g6.
Okay. G6.
Yeah. So I want to play F5.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, it's not. Okay. I understand. So black actually wants to try to attack on the king side. Makes sense. Makes sense that you don't want to just castle. I wonder if it's a crazy move like G4 off the bat. But G4.
That's not really what off the bat means. Off the bat was 10 minutes ago.
Off the bat, I mean like from the starting position, not where we're currently at.
Okay, I thought it meant like from my first instinct seeing this.
Yeah, that might be. I meant at the start, but I could be wrong. Because G4, you also have ideas like Knight G3, which is actually kind of nice. It does feel a little crazy though, because G4, there's moves like Knight F6. Also G4, if you push H5, that probably helps you open up more than it helps me. Although I could take and then play my knight to G3, which feels like I have some compensation. So G4 is an interesting move. G4, if you play knight F6 and I go knight G3, actually feels pretty nice.
Sorry, I'm not making the arrows.
Yeah, knight G3 after. I mean, G4 is interesting, but if G4 and H5, I guess I have to take, rook takes, and then knight G3. And yes, I'm giving up another pawn, which looks like it's weakening my king. But then I'm also activating my knight. Maybe looking towards F5 or E4. E4 looks really juicy. And that feels like a pretty strong position. So maybe it is G4 here. Stone Cold Hammer.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of out of time.
Okay. So what was it?
So G4 is the correct answer. After
Wait.
White has...
Why do I say G4 and you have to say yes, we're out of time instead of yes, you got the right move?
Because number one, you only got it after I made a move that prevented G4.
Yeah, so I had a little assist.
You never identified the real problem of the position, which was the knight on E2. You kept talking about, this bishop on C1 and how to get it into the game. But the real issue here is that this bishop can get into E3, which is a decent enough square, in 2 moves. Whereas if you do not hurry, the knight on E2 will just never have a future. Also, after G4, H5, what you said was pawn takes H5, whereas Andrea correctly identified knight
Whoa.
G3
Why are we
better
bringing
move.
Andrea up here? What about all the times I was right when she wasn't?
Well, to be fair, you've been crushing her so far. But here, I gotta credit her, because she nailed this. One of the first things she said after she got over the whole D4 fiasco was that the knight on E2 needed to get into a better position. She found G4 quite soon thereafter. And like I was saying, after H5, there's no need to capture this one. So knight G3 is improving the positioning of the knight. And after takes, she also improved the position of the queen with the knight coming in next. And just, beautiful coordination of the white pieces compared to what we had earlier.
Okay, well, I'm glad she got one.
Yeah. So, G4 is just a really, really good move. And the key, the knight on E2. Also, yeah, I like that you highlighted the square E4, because this is something that needs to be like one of the first things you notice is squares where your pieces can stand for a long time without being kicked by the opponent's pawns.
Mm-hmm.
And e4 is such a square. And then, well, you kind of identified it in that you wanted your bishop there. Um, but every time you were talking about the bishop here, it's like this bishop will be kicked out by the f5 pawn pretty early on. Like you were like saying, "Oh, I don't mind g6 because then I can get my bishop out." But in reality, what's happening here is that you're just being slaughtered by the black army coming in. And like this is the optimal formation for black because it does such an amazing job of restricting the bishop on g2 and the knight, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and because you prevent g4.
No, that's fair. I definitely underestimated black trying to go for a kingside attack here.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's good to see.
But yeah, overall, I thought it was yeah, I thought it was good.
Thank you. These positions are actually fun to work through.
Okay, that's good because I did send you the text, the fen codes.
Okay, for these
So
positions or
if
for
you
different ones?
no for these.
Okay, got it.
So if you wanna work on them your own, that's definitely.
Wait, but why would I work
possible.
through them if we already did them?
Well, I mean, we did like a fourth.
Oh no,
now,
that's what I
right?
mean. So solve some of the ones we haven't seen on my own.
Well, I mean, I think it's better to solve it with me, but
Yeah. So
you're not
no.
always gonna have that option, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. It is better to solve with a coach. The guy in the background is my dad. You guys, it's Papa Botez. Papa Botez came in because he was enjoying your lesson, so he's in the back, and he was waving, but you can't see him or hear him. He's texting in the chat. No, this was really good, Hammer. Thank you.
Yeah,
Um.
sounds good.
Okay. Well, I would definitely like to do more of these, but we could figure that out offline. Thank you for coming on stream and doing the coaching today.
Yeah, Andrea asked me to stay on for another 30 minutes for her session.
For 1600?
Oh sure. Dad, he can't hear you from here. You have to come
Okay, can
closer.
you ask him?
I
What
can't
did you
hear.
say?
Well, he's asking if he can do a lesson for 1600.
Oh yeah, he did say that. Okay, Andrea said she's coming in 3 minutes. She said that 4 minutes ago.
Okay.
Well,
I don't think we'll have time for another position
Maybe to
in
entertain the
one
chat?
minus 1 minute.
Dad, you can do whatever you want. You could relax. You could chat. Oh no.
How do you think about Andrea in Vegas?
How do I think about Andrea in Vegas? Well, she isn't super prepared. But I think it'll just be good to get tournament practice. Also, Vegas is a terrible tournament. It's terrible for FIDE. It's fine for USCF. I don't know. I hate the Vegas tournaments more than anything. I wouldn't put anyone through it, but I'm not gonna say that because she already decided to play. I hope she's gonna have a good tournament and it'll spark her desire to play more chess.
She's here.
So I'm gonna end on
I
that note
think
because she's here.
for her the important part is just
Can I
having
disagree
more
with you,
confidence
Alex?
when she plays.
I always took you to the Las Vegas tournaments, and you always gained rating points. It was like always a.
I
a
only
bonus.
gained rating points when I was like 300 points higher rated in Canada than in USCF, and then I would play people lower rated, but even then they were very good. But I don't want to take time because Andrea has her 30 minutes of lesson here.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, Dad, you've got some toothpaste on your mouth.
I know.
Alright, go. Be free, birdie.
All right. Okay, Hammer. I'm leaving you with the young Andrea.
Yes.
Thank you,
Andrea.
Jojo.
Try not to leave
Wait, why aren't the
Discord
lights
stuff
on?
once you're taking things off.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
webcam and it doesn't matter with a webcam.
I'll do it.
All right, here you go.
Alrighty.
Bye,
To take
chat. Have a
Alexandra
good
on
one.
and show her something. I'll be back to chat.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna go anyway.
Up. Ow. Up. Hello, did you miss me?
Yes, very much so.
Good. I have some questions for you, Hammer. So,
Yes, I was expecting as much.
tuning into the stream as one does, and I first was very pleased because I hear, oh, Andrea killed this one, she found it very well, and then you go, and then Alex goes, yeah, at least she got one, and you're like, yeah, she didn't get the other ones. But I would disagree. I think, and you know what? When you were doing puzzles with Alex, like the one where Queen A5 was the answer, I had already done my chessable homework and knew the answer before Alex. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have something to say for yourself?
I thought you were busy studying and not watching stream.
Well, that was when I was getting ready for stream. So I studied, and then while I was getting my break, I was still listening to the chess.
Okay.
So I just wanted to know who you think the better student is.
I am not sure you want to know that.
How is she the better student? In any way?
She solved it so much faster than you.
Which one?
And with higher percentage. But like this one,
I think that's subjective.
Okay, on what grounds?
I think most of those I had the right answer. I just got there differently, but
if you wanted to vote in chat, like there's tons of people in chat who saw you doing these positions and who now saw Alexandra.
Okay, before I do my 30-minute lesson, mods, could we please have a poll on who the better student is? Because I feel like I've been working hard. Maybe my answers are not as good, but I don't know. He was saying I got all of these puzzles wrong, but I didn't.
Andrea, I do want to say that in this position we have now on the board,
yes,
you absolutely nailed it compared to Alexandra.
But what about all the other ones?
Oh, not so much.
How was I not nailing those?
I don't know. I was asking myself that very same question while you were doing it.
I felt like I nailed those.
Like, you took forever to realize the knight wanted to come to d5.
Well, yeah, because I had a better... Well, okay, that one was bad. That was my worst puzzle. That's a fair one, but the rest of them I nailed. Okay, you know what? All right, let's get on with the lesson.
Okay, but you spent more time.
All right, whatever. I don't care anymore. Okay.
What are we talking about today?
Well, we have 30 minutes, and you know what? I don't care about the poll either. We have 30 minutes. We can either do positions or I was gonna play some 5-minute games and try some of the lines that I've been studying because I'm a hardworking student. Which I could play and then we could look at them.
Yeah, sure, but then what if the opponent doesn't play like you want them to?
Well, then you're just hanging out along for the ride.
Yeah.
Well, we could still analyze, but yeah, that could happen. Or
do you want me to recruit someone from chat?
To play? Yeah, let's recruit.
Okay, chatters, rated. What is your rating?
2,000.
2,000 in Blitz. If you are willing to play an opening according to, well, what we tell you.
We just want E4, right? We want some E4 players.
Oh, okay, that's the opening you want to use?
Yeah. We can start with that one.
1 E4 players.
Who are 2,000 rated. Let me log into my chess.
Post your rating and chess.com username.
Okay, good job. You recruit.
2,000 chess.com Blitz. I don't think you have that, Papa Botez.
Dad, do you want to play against me? Okay,
we have Big Fish.
I have one.
005.
I have a 2300 hammer.
Yeah, no, you are not playing a 2300.
But I can I can do it.
Veto.
I'm good.
You are no.
You never believe
You're gonna play
in me anymore.
Big Fish 005.
Big Fish? Okay, Big Fish. Send me a challenge. Okay, I'm not going to put on any tunes. Sorry, Guild Wars. I'm not allowed to play with you. What about Tani? He's a kid. I need to practice against kids.
There's absolutely no chance you're practicing against Tani.
Okay.
You're going to practice against people you have a good shot at beating.
I have a good shot against all of these people, but that's okay. All right, Big Fish, I'm waiting for you.
Big Fish 005.
Whoop.
Don't press that.
What? Don't press what? I'm just looking. Vila sent me a message. I want to make sure I'm not in trouble.
How?
Oh,
Do
okay.
you not know how to make a challenge yourself?
I do, but I'm a lady. I like to wait for them to challenge me first.
That is such a 1900s way of thinking.
Okay, can you give me his
We're
username?
in the 21st century right now.
Okay, whatever.
Big-
What is his
Big
username?
Fish
Big
005.
And do you want me to take out my earbuds and you commentate, or do you want to watch in silence and judge me?
Whichever you prefer.
Okay, let's pull it. Can we do one? Oh, Big Fish challenge me. Okay, I see you, Big Fish. Don't go anywhere. Wait, can you challenge me? Wait, 3 minutes or 5 minutes? We'll do 3 because we have limited time, so I'll take it.
Yeah, and he challenged with the white pieces, right? So that was pretty observant of him.
Oh, did he? I don't know if he did.
I think it said black, which
Okay.
means you get black, right?
Okay, you know what?
So that's something we forgot to do in our calculations.
I will just. Okay, I'm trying. Okay. Wait. Can anyone make a poll here? Any mods? Poll for whether Hammer should commentate or Hammer should silently judge, and we should all jam out to music. I like the second one, but I don't want Hammer to be too bored. Or I actually, you know what's sad, Hammer? I don't know how to make a poll. Oh wait, they did it. All right, there we go. Don't know how to challenge. Don't know how to poll.
Did Big Fish not want to play anymore because you were being rude?
He's right here. He's here.
Oh,
right.
but he challenged 3 minutes. You were
That's
playing
okay.
5?
3 minutes is okay. You only have 30 minutes. We can play more people. Okay, so they
Yeah.
want you to commentate. All right. Okay, then I shall take out my earbuds, and you guys.
Well, accept the challenge to make sure you get the black pieces first.
All right.
No?
You guys shall
Okay.
be alone with the hammer. Goodbye. Oh shit. What am I? Okay, I'm already panicking.
Andrea is playing the Sicilian.
Oh god,
which
we
she played
didn't
a lot,
prep
many
against this
times
hammer.
before.
We didn't do this line.
We did not.
He's
No.
supposed to play this.
Yeah, well, he
What
didn't.
do I do? Do you still want me to play?
We'll play something at least.
But I don't. This isn't what we prepared for. I don't. Okay, it's fine. I'll figure it out.
If you panic like this during the Vegas
Okay, well,
tournament,
to be
that
fair,
is
he
not
took us
looking
out
good.
of the prep on move on move 2. What do I
Oh
do
my
against
God.
that? Okay, it's
Well-
fine. I'll figure it out.
yeah. Well, now he's gonna play the proper.
Okay,
opening against
and in
you.
the meantime, next time, can we make a chessable for C3?
Or C3.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm going. I'm independent. I don't need you anymore.
But you do. Paul does ask an important question. How does a player?
Okay, I'm just gonna
He
play.
plays the
I'm
Sicilian
just gonna
not
play.
know how
I'm
to
gonna
play
do my
his
regular
style.
stuff.
The problem is she plays like this horrible variation against this. Like she plays G6 for no reason. She could have.
I'm
She
gonna
could
do my
just go
line.
D5 immediately, but whatever. That's why Andrea's the little fish. Yeah. It's very clear who the big fish is in this.
Oh, how do I play this line?
She's now very unhappy about not getting her preparation.
I'm focusing. I do not know this line.
Okay, just develop pieces, get your king to safety. When you don't know the line, just, just think. Don't expect to know every opening. Just get your
I need
pieces
to get rid
out
of
there.
Hammer's face because it's taunting me.
I thought my face was pretty neutral right now. But... Okay. She's using up all her time to think. Black is just better in this position. White has the isolated pawn in the center. That's a pawn that cannot be defended by other pawns, which means you have to use your pieces to defend it. And that often puts your pieces in defensive stances. So, for instance, White's bishop right now is just pointing in towards the pawn in the middle. So the bishop is doing a good job protecting the pawn, but it's not doing anything else. So, okay, Andrea decides to pretend like she blunders d5, but actually it's not a blunder. She actually did have a save there if d5 was played.
What?
Not fully convinced she saw it, but it's okay. Knight can capture a pawn. Seems decent. Knight can capture a bishop, getting the bishop pair seems very decent. Instead, Andrea has chosen to go for a strategy in which she loses on time. That's one way to go. D5 is still a fork on the bishop and knight, but she's freakishly lucky because she has some bishop takes c3 situation that saves her. Yeah. She's down to a minute on the clock. Papa Botez, could you tell her to go faster? Is he listening? He's only listening to
Shut
chat.
up!
Oh, he is listening. Wow. And Andrea doesn't know that
Dad. Don't
message was
worry.
really from me.
I'm very fast.
She thinks it was Papa Botez that was concerned.
Shit.
I mean, she had a great position, and now, she doesn't. So, up until a certain point, this was going quite well. And then, stuff happened.
Take.
So, we had a position where white had an isolated pawn in the center, and black had quite active pieces. We're joining now the game in which black is down a pawn. There's no isolated stuff in the center, and white's pieces are way more active. And the opponent blunders something. Not sure how much. Yeah, don't take that. But she did. Oh yeah. Well, I thought white was going to take the bishop on b2, but taking a free knight also quite decent. Still can't capture the bishop. Ooh, wow, what a move. Big fish on the big stage, showing off with some big moves. Knight takes pawn, giving a check, opening up for the rook against the black rook. And now winning the game. Some good stuff right there. But the bad news for Mr. Big Fish, he's not getting a rematch because the Alapin opponents are not to be accepted here. So, anyone who plays 1e4 and plays the Open Sicilian, please post your chess.com username and rating. And also, please do showcase that you know how to challenge for a game with the black pieces. How is Andrea okay? How did this happen? She's not even down a pawn.
No!
Wow. Okay, I took my eye off the ball for a little bit there.
No. Okay, he has too much time on me.
And pieces too.
Well, your commentary is not helpful, Dad. Alright, we'll resign. I panicked. But I was also slow.
She says, not managing to resign before losing on time. Okay. Metner Trick. Please give a 5-minute challenge in which you give yourself the white pieces.
Wait, what? Wait, are we not going to look at the game?
No, come on.
We need to look at the game.
You told me I'm supposed to make some prep for this Alapin.
Well, is there anything I can learn from this?
You had a good position out of the opening.
So you liked how I played the opening?
Yes.
Okay, then where did it all go wrong? Otherwise, then play
Well,
faster, like my dad said.
yeah, I told Papa Botez to tell you to play faster,
Yes,
and
he
then you
did.
got upset with Papa Botez.
I did get
But
upset with
it was
Papa
really
Botez.
a message from me.
That makes
Knight
sense.
C4, I didn't really like, but
What about, I didn't know what to do with this bishop. That was my
I
problem.
mean, he played G4 like this.
Yeah,
Your
that
bishop was good. Your bishop is good.
So maybe knight here instead?
Well, I would go Knight D5 just to block
That's what I
the
said.
isolated pawn in the center, and then Queen D7 and Rook D8.
Okay.
But even in this position, just Queen D7, Rook D8, attack the pawn. I would use the other rook.
Well,
yeah,
Queen
A
D7,
rook.
they do this. If once their knight's here, and then you lose your bishop.
Yeah, but you take on D4. No, you're up a pawn.
Oh, I see. Well, no, we're not winning. Oh, no, how do you take
But also, you can go Bishop D5.
Bishop D5?
As long as you're controlling the square in front of the pawn.
It seems like you don't know what to do here, Hammer.
What? I don't need to. I mean, black is just winning. You know, you can do pretty much anything.
Okay. All right, I play another one.
Make a challenge to Met.
Oh, I see
their trick.
From Dominican Republic. Oh, they challenged me 3-0. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure, as long as you get the black
Will they play what we discussed? Well, if they don't, we can still learn. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to hide your face now because it was intimidating me during the game. All right. Goodbye, chat.
Bye.
Goodbye, Hammer.
Okay, so we have a promise here. Play the open Sicilian.
What? Okay, I'm just gonna play. This is not
Andrea,
the line.
I got scammed.
I'm just gonna play.
I did specifically ask for the open Sicilian. I got scammed. I'm not taking any flack on this. But actually, this does bring up a good point that honestly I needed to talk to Andrea about, because I kind of made a mistake in the prep I gave her. Okay, we're already recruiting for the next game. Already recruiting for the next game. Her fault for playing knight c6. Honestly, Daniel, that's kind of my fault that she did that. I've forgotten to teach her that she doesn't need to go knight c6. Yeah, it's actually not just a little bit my fault. It's entirely my fault. I did not take careful consideration of move orders in the file I gave her. So she only knows about knight c6. She doesn't know she can go e6. We need to teach her that. Sleepy philosopher, yeah.
Bing, bing, bing.
Dashing tango, that's a good one. A real opening like the Scandi,
Bing,
yeah.
Bing, bing, bing,
Whenever
bing.
I need the Scandi, Gerber, I'll definitely get to you. Are there rating minimums to play? We're trying to get an opponent between 1900 and 2000. Just, get her some confidence, some wins. So excited for her reaction when she finds out. When she finds out I've been teaching her wrong, yeah, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to that. Nobody's perfect, yeah. And don't I know it? Ooh, the checkmate threat. Or is it a checkmate threat? I think it is. The thing is, knight f6 is good here because the knight on a3 is still hanging. So she's correct to be concerned about e5 attacking the knight, but it doesn't matter because she's attacking the white knight.
Well, that's
She kind of
good.
she forgot all about
Doesn't
her own
work.
threats. What brand? It's some silly brand bird, like Specsavers or something.
Oh,
I
wait,
forget
no,
what
never
the
mind. It
Specsavers
works.
brand is called.
Take.
How do you feel
Thing.
about the Norwegian defense? I'm not too happy with the fact that the Norwegian defense is like the worst chess opening ever. I do feel like Norway in the last couple of years has done pretty well in chess. And so that we get like the worst opening ever named after us is disrespectful. Queen b8 was a good move, yeah. It's a nice double threat on the knight and towards the white king. She's gonna win this one. The guy is losing on time. Have you been to Stavanger? I'm currently in Stavanger. I'm not sure if that was an attempt to be funny, but yeah, I'm in Stavanger right now, a Norwegian, a city on the Norwegian west coast, because I'm doing commentary on the Norway Chess Tournament, which is the big annual tournament we have here in Norway. Oh, Andrea,
Oh shit.
you just needed to avoid getting checkmated for like 8 seconds. Don't go to f8. Just get your king away and flag the guy. No, don't do that. Don't
No,
do that.
I'm getting mated.
No. Aw. Well, at least she realized she's getting mated. But it's a bit of a pity realizing at that moment when it's a second too
Not
late.
like this.
Have you been to Tromsø? Yes, I have. I was there at the same time as Botez once, I think. I'm not sure. What? She did not get mated, but she ended up flagging instead? What is this? E3, good move. Take it, take it. Move! Move!
Ah!
No! I have been to mandalas.
I don't want to put the earbuds in.
Okay,
I don't
who's
want to
gonna
hear
play the
Hammer.
next one? Candidates for next game.
Hello, Hammer.
Hey,
Ah, that
so
was terrible.
yeah, it was not great. So I feel partially responsible for this because I made a I would say major mistake in the notes I sent you.
Oh.
So we're gonna have to need to look at move
Wait, but
two.
this we never looked at. Yeah, we never did this one.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what I made the mistake in the notes I sent to you.
Yeah.
I played knight to c6, right?
Yes, you did. Yep.
Yeah.
No,
So
actually,
now
you
we're
did this.
gonna learn.
You did d4.
Yeah.
Takes,
Yeah.
knight.
Yeah. So on move two, to get to your opening, you can play in a few different ways. So yes, you can go knight c6, but in order to avoid the bishop b5 line that we now saw, you can also choose to go e6 instead.
Ew.
So the idea is that after d4 now,
Mhm.
you take,
Mhm.
knight takes,
Yes.
and then knight f6.
Oh, you don't play the other knight first?
No, you play this knight first, because this is more direct, threatening the pawn.
Oh,
On
and
e4.
then we just.
No, if e5, can you find a good move
Oh
for
yeah,
black?
duh.
Yeah, good. So they play knight c3, and then after
Defending.
knight c6, you get your opening again.
Gotcha.
So this is kind of a major mistake on my part, because a lot of people will argue that maybe this move order is more accurate, um, because right now bishop b5 Sicilians is quite popular.
Well,
But to give you an idea of like that, these two different moves have different ideas, right? So after e6
yeah. Oh,
on
you mean
move
on
two,
here?
yeah. So here the move g3
Yeah.
is much better in this situation than if you go knight c6.
Oh, okay.
And if you go back now,
Uh huh.
the move c3
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what to do
is,
here then.
yeah, it's interesting.
I'm guessing you'd go for like d5, but I need to learn
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
So what we can do, the advantage of having two different ways of reaching your opening is that we can, if we have the ability to check your opponent's games ahead of time, we can see that, okay, if they play bishop b5 Sicilians, we go e6. But if they like to go g3 and do early fianchettos, you can go knight c6. So
Yeah.
this flexibility in being able to reach your opening in two different ways with different different features of the position, that can be exploited if we know the opponent's.
But the problem is we won't for like half of them. Like my first round, I'm flying in the morning of. I'm not gonna know who I'm. So I need to
Sure.
learn what to do against G3, and I need to learn what to do against C3.
No, Andrea. You're gonna play sound, solid opening moves. You're not gonna be dependent on feeling you need to know every single situation.
I can't just go it, but I'm gonna have to play D5 that I've never played in my life. I've never
Yeah.
played this in my
You're
life.
you're gonna put your pawns in the center. You're gonna develop your pieces, and you're gonna get your king castled.
And then
And
they're
you're
gonna
not
beat me out
gonna
of the
panic.
opening.
You're not gonna panic. You're just gonna play sound moves.
Could we
They're
please
not
make a
gonna
line?
beat you out of the opening.
They
No,
will.
it is not worth. We cannot cover every single part of every single opening. This is the same for your London system, right? You need to pick some variations you're specifically concerned about. We cannot cover everything. And it's very important that we tell you we cannot cover everything, because you need to understand that a major part of success is being able to cope with the unknown and being okay with just playing sensible stuff in like variations that you don't know.
I have something to say, but I'll just hold. I just think, the more prepared you can be, you should, like, if someone was going into war, you wouldn't send them out into war without any shield or weapon. Like, there's nothing to lose in learning these lines.
There's a lot of armies that would disagree with you, but sure.
I'm susceptible.
To use your analogy, countries of the world are at the moment sending their soldiers out not well enough trained, and in some
And then
cases
they
not well
die.
enough equipped. Some of them die,
That's
but
what's
some
gonna
of
happen
them,
to me.
some of them rise to the occasion, learn from experience, and grow stronger through just being in the war zone. I would like to stop this analogy as soon as possible, but there is a case to be made for, being able to use the principles of opening play and being able to use them to find good opening moves without having looked at them ahead of time.
Okay. All right. I will try this approach. I don't promise that I won't look at this on ChessBase, maybe a game or two, if there's time, but I will follow your approach. Okay. All right. I'm ready for the next challenger to fight to the death.
I have not found one yet, but
I'll pick one. Okay, I know I've lost.
Possibly go wrong.
I know I've lost.
Dashing Tango, that's the one I decided.
No. I don't trust him. I remember him. He's a Pepe. We don't play Pepes. We don't play Pepes.
Okay, sorry.
And I bet he's from North Korea. Yeah, he's a troll.
Yeah.
I think I could beat a high rated. I think I can beat Daniel.
Pranav. No, Pranav.
He's too low.
No, he's fine. Also, Tricky Piece, very nicely rated.
They're lower than me. I want someone higher. I want to play Daniel. Just one game. Just one. I believe.
It's a 3-minute game. You have to play fast.
I'm fast.
Yeah.
I'll make you proud. I'm going to do it. Okay, it's going to be my best game of the day. Oh.
You still went
Unless I do this. Okay, it's fine. I'm gonna do it right this time. Nothing can go wrong. I just don't know what to do. Okay, we can't let this happen again. What do we do against that? What if I did this? Then he would do this, huh?
The good thing is that
what if I did this? Can he attack this? What if I do this? Then he'll do this. Then I'll do this. I'm panicking. Alright. Ah!
It's fine. Pawn cannot be captured. Big blunder. Queen b6 now, winning for white. Queen b6 winning. He sees it. Okay, she's actually gonna get the win. I guess she was right.
Ah! Never mind. Sorry. Thought I blundered. I'm just nervous. Aren't I winning?
Andrea proves you wrong once a stream. Oh. Well, this was her one time today then.
I'm winning.
You are winning. Well done. You can't hear me, but
what?
We're trying to send some encouragement her way.
What?
It's a free queen. I don't know why we're hesitating.
What in the world? Why did he give me his queen? Did he feel bad for me?
He's trying to trap your bishop. Oh, that bishop is not getting trapped.
All right. Never mind. I feel like I can hammer nod if I'm allowed to put in the earbud. Okay, because I feel like we can chat. Because I think... Did you pay this man to give his queen? Why did he do that?
He blundered.
Well, I told you I was going to win. I told you I was going to make you proud. Didn't I make you proud?
I mean, he chose to give up his queen for a piece instead of losing his rook for nothing. Because, after you capture the bishop on e3, you're also going to take the rook. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, let me finish him. Oh, I'll take out my red till I'm done.
I mean, she has quite a sizable advantage, but I'm not feeling 100% just yet. I have seen things on this stream. It's not over just yet, people. D5 is coming. There's going to be an attack. The bishops are very powerful. She's down on time. She needs to sacrifice her rook for one of the bishops. She needs to go like rook e5 and then rook takes d5. Just get rid of one of those bishops and you win the game.
Maybe I should just sack for the bishop.
Wow. I mean, it's like osmosis.
Yeah, I think it's worth it.
The guy is never going to take the rook. That's the problem. Without the bishop pair, he's toast. You need to go rook e5 to sack. He was going to play queen a7. It looked like it to me, double jarred. I'm glad we avoided it. Okay, now she's going to win. She realized she needed to sack her rook for one of the bishops. That was good. She's going to win it now. Well done. Hammer was a non-believer, but she went there and she took down the 2300. Let's go. Oh, don't blunder the queen. Don't panic.
Thought I had something.
Nice.
Okay, I knew it was there. I just needed time. I'm not gonna lose. Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, so e6, I guess.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, next challenger.
Okay.
Oh, Nemo's ready for the rapid match.
Oh. Okay.
Maybe she'll play some Sicilians. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'll let you go because it was only 30 minutes and it's been 40.
Well, also Nemo is waiting.
Yeah. Okay, well,
Okay.
I feel
See ya.
like I just proved that I'm the weaker student after this lesson, but at least we found two very important weaknesses in our repertoire.
Sure. Take off my webcam, Discord.
Okay, why are you rushing to go? What is this?
No, I'm just asking you to take it off since
I did.
Alexandra didn't want you to leak.
I did. Okay, that's fine. You
Okay.
can go. It's fine.
Good luck against Nemo.
Okay.
I hope you get some use out of the openings we
Probably
worked.
not. Okay. Bye, Hammer.
What's this negativity? Just, some confidence and some
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
also practice playing openings where you just follow the principles. What are the 3 principles?
Put your pawns in the center. Develop your
Yes.
pieces.
Yes.
And be confident about yourself.
Well, that's a good one, but we also like to
Eat almonds during the chess game.
that is
Castling!
could be good as well.
Okay,
We
but
also
that's
like
so
castling.
obvious. That
Yes.
one's obvious. Okay, I'm not a first
Yeah,
grader. I don't even be told to castle.
Okay, I'll remember that for the game you lose after having castle.
What
on
is this
minute 25.
attitude? This sounds
Yeah,
like a
you're right.
negative attitude, Hammer.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The
Good
coach
luck.
has become the student. Goodbye. I go play chess.
Considering
Yes.
Right.
Go.
All right.